You know what I'm hyped for? I'm hyped for boxing.
Look up idiot in the dictionary. You know what you'll find?
A picture of me?
No! The definition of the word idiot, which you fucking are.
Anyway, besides my stupidity, I basically got these all cut up. Obviously I'll throw in some sprinkle and some dazzle in there, and sugar spice everything nice, you know what I mean.
Chemical X.
And then yeah, so I got these in, not like all the way, but I got them in, cleaned up a little bit, tacked into the car. So now what I gotta do is I gotta create the fronts of these, and then that'll kind of like tie everything, it'll tie the B-pillar, which is here, to like the center section of the car. So it'll tie all this together. Obviously this is gonna take a bit of like finesse and trimming. The floor is not perfectly flat, it's like all types of weird here, because all that's like strengthening. Oh, for fuck's sake. All that's strengthening this up right here is just sheet metal. So there's no, I mean there is structure there obviously from the factory, but you know, obviously I cut out a bunch as well. So with that being said, I'm going to bend up this tube to kind of like go over the drive shaft, if you will. Which is good because it'll also act as like a drive shaft safety mechanism if it ever fails, you know. If it ever goes bang, boom, and pop and whiz and all that, then it'll knock this tube up, and unfortunately it'll probably bend up some things, but yeah, so but it'll be a safety thing. And then I am going to turn these blue. So I'm going to turn everything in the back of this car blue. With the torch. So I'm probably gonna use a lot of propane and MAP on this, but it'll make it look cool and unique, if you know what I mean. And then once this is boxed, this is bent and kind of tacked in there as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finally make up my main hoop. So it'll go from there. Obviously, you know how race car stuff works. Go from there, yeah, finish line. Ooh. And then this, like, already just being tacked down with 4 tacks is like insanely strong in moving the car. So this is just a hair smaller than 1/8 inch plate. Once all this is tied in and everything's like welded up here, it should be like really strong. It's just as thick as some of this sheet metal when it's because it's like triple stamped. There's 3 layers of steel that they stamped together, and then they spot welded them together, so it's just as thick and just as strong too. So this should be good. It'll be good placement for the tube to come through. That is another thing I'm going to do, is figure out exactly where the tube is going to lie, and I'm probably going to cut a hole in here somewhere. Wherever it lands, I'll mark it on both sides. I'll get it all even and mocked up, and then I'll cut a hole so that I can drop the tube down, the main hoop down, and then that'll basically allow me to weld it there. I probably will break these boxes off and then just weld it to the floor, or tack weld it to the floor, just so everything just stays strong. How I'm gonna go about it yet, I have the ideas in my head, it just depends on what kind of like falls into place, you know. So yeah, I figured I would stop the music, even though there's still music going on in the background. I'm pretty stupid.
The definition of the word idiot, which you fucking are.
So I figured I would just, you know, let's lay out the plans for you guys. Yeah, I think I'm gonna clean up now because it is, I mean, it's not dark, but it's also windy. Who cares about wind, right? Anyways, back to the show. Alright dudes, so I went ahead, I got the main hoop built and bent up. I got this centerpiece right here bent up. It kind of matches the like drive shaft tunnel shape there. I took off the plates that I put on top because it snowed the other day, surprisingly, and it kind of got them all rusty, so I need to clean them up. And then I still need to cut holes for the hoop to go down in, and then get everything measured and everything, and then I can tack weld that stuff in. So far for back here, what I did was I cut all this sheet metal out and got to the structure in the back right here. So I'm going to be plating that with this, and then I kind of went through. My camera ran out of memory card, so I didn't get a chance to like show this in the making, but basically just a little like beauty plate, I guess you could say.
That's a spicy meatball.
So this will be the main plate, and then I'm gonna just weld this to this in the center, and then I might do some other stuff here, but it just depends. So yeah, that's where I'm at so far with the Nissan. But yeah, other than that, the only other thing that I'm going to be working on now is just getting that plate in, tacked up, probably fully welded, because that's not too big of an area there. I do need to box up or like close off that section there where it's just kind of like beaten, where the old unibody frame rail used to be. So I'll probably go ahead and do that as well and just get everything cleaned up and welded, and then yeah, then I can finally throw the rear end under this thing and just kind of see where it lies. So I'm pretty stoked to hopefully get this thing rolling again. I still don't have coil springs or coilovers, sorry. I still don't have coilovers, so it might still be rollable, because it's gonna camber out. The arms and everything's gonna come up. so it still might be rollable, but it's not going to be like supported weight wise. It's just gonna slam down and tuck the wheels hopefully, and then yeah, so until I get coilovers, it's not going to be officially rolling, but at least like the rear end would be under there, which is more progress than it has had in a while, I'm sure. So yeah. Alright, so just put the rear end under here. I need to pull it out from under the jack, so the good thing is I have plenty of room to kind of like wiggle around in here. So I'll just kind of like lift it up, pull the jack out. But yeah, it actually, it's not bad. It doesn't, plenty of room still. I mean, even with all this stuff out, that's not bad. Obviously I'm going to have to throw wheels and tires on there and then kind of line everything up just so I know where everything's gonna sit, and then get the suspension correct as far as geometry wise, and then get my diff angle, and then basically I can come in here, finish up these plates, get everything tack welded in, tack weld this in, tack weld the main hoop in, and then yeah, then I can basically, like I said, figure out my geometry and my angles for the pinion and everything, and then I can start kind of branching off and doing some things. So the cool thing about that plate that I just did there is I can go off of that into one of these tubes, and then same there, I can go off of the front and then go into those and then do some like down bars from the top and then come down to these or come down back here. I'm gonna do a bunch of bracing just to make everything structurally sound and strong again. So not too bad. Definitely a big moment to kind of see the rear end under here, but yeah, so good progress. This will wrap up today. Yeah, this is a good starting point, so thanks dudes, appreciate it, bye.